You know, as an English teacher who has taught Romeo and Juliet countless times already, I prefer to use the Baz Luhrmann version of the film. And I really want to thank him, not for just creating an attention-grabbing modern version that teens can relate to, but for also creating a surefire way for me to tell which students were actually paying attention when we read the original text. How do I know? Because a few times, believe it or not, I've had students write about how they don't like the ending of the play because Juliet just shoots herself. Yeah, I know. That makes me want to stab myself with a gun. I have to be completely honest as well. I respect Baz Luhrmann, but I don't fully understand him. I mean, even his name, Baz, sounds like an Australian foam children's toy. His name seems to fit his filmmaking personality and techniques, as the man cannot even spell the word subtle, as he is all about kinetic edits, flashy acting, and bombastic music. This man seems to be the love child of Sam Raimi and Lady Gaga. And even though Gatsby is considered to be one of the great American classics, Baz, an Aussie, not only filmed this in Australia, but cast several Australian actors. And even so, it seems to be a good fit. Gatsby is all about characters that live in a larger-than-life reality and really let their emotions guide them. These are reoccurring aspects in any Baz Luhrmann film. So okay, Luhrmann, you can have a crack at the great American story, but you stay away from the great Canadian story. I don't think so. Well, maybe. Oh, the hell with that! In an interview I saw, Luhrmann had said that every generation needs their own version of The Great Gatsby, and part of me agrees with that. Gatsby is the story of an entitled generation who rebels through their music and opulence. I think it's perfect timing now, considering the state that North American culture is in. Considering how self-indulgent young people are today, and the immense rift between poor and rich, I think there are themes in Gatsby that today's audiences are really going to relate to. I know several audience members are put off by the use of anachronistic music in past Luhrmann films, but in The Great Gatsby, I personally applaud it. Jay-Z, or as he's better known in Canada, Jay-Z, who worked on the film and its soundtrack, called modern R&B the jazz of its time. I'd say that's true, and in the soundtrack, the remixes of 21st century songs, as well as the amalgamation of them and 20s jazz, I thought fit seamlessly. Which is one of the big draws of The Great Gatsby. It is much smoother, and dare I even say subtle, than past Luhrmann works. You know how most of his films are like you're already on acid, laced with meth, followed by an absinthe shooter? Or as I call it, a Friday night. Okay, don't do drugs. You don't get as much of that, and therefore the characters and the story get to shine that much more. That also meant that for once, the performances weren't as annoying. The characters in Gatsby are already flawed, as they are selfish and uncaring, but all of the actors did enough of a job humanizing those characters so that you actually cared about them. Specifically, Carey Mulligan and Tobey Maguire really carry the film. Sure, their characters make really poor decisions at times, but I personally was invested. DiCaprio as well, following an amazing streak with films like Inception and Django Unchained, was very layered and believable. Although if he said "old sport" one more time, I was gonna stab myself with a gun. But as I stated earlier, Gatsby seemed to be a great fit for Baz, and he still had a chance to shine as the auteur that he is. As you can tell by the trailers, the Great Gatsby film is extremely bright, colorful, and visually opulent. Once again, Baz had his equally talented wife as his partner, Catherine Martin, who was both production designer and costume designer, created a beautiful 1920s Long Island. While Martin created her own version of Fitzgerald's world, you could also tell that she was heavily influenced by the 1970s Redford version, which isn't a bad thing, because the use of color in this film is absolutely stunning. So, because once again, she made the visual sense of a Baz Luhrmann film unforgettable, Catherine Martin is The Great Gatsby's for the win. One aspect I am disappointed in is using all that color. I thought that they would use the metaphors that Fitzgerald wrote a little more. The Great Gatsby, having read it in high school like many North American kids, was really the first work of media that opened my eyes to metaphors. And I think Luhrmann kind of missed the mark on that one. But that once again speaks to the fact that for once, Baz didn't go too far. Except in length. 2 hours and 40 minutes, Baz? You made Romeo and Juliet under 2 hours, and you took a short novel and made it a Peter Jackson film? However, in my opinion, it is his most accessible film, and I believe a wide audience can enjoy it. And therefore, it's an earn it. And if I ever teach Gatsby in the future, I'm definitely going to use this version of the film. Poll question time. What is your favorite novel to movie adaptation? As always, leave your answers in the comment section below. And until next time, old sport, school's out.